Hello students, let's solve Maths Paper 2 June 2019. So let's start with question number 1. Okay, so question number 1a says solve this inequality, which means we're trying to find the possible values of n. So first thing, I can simply take away 11n on both sides, which will then give me 3n smaller than 6, because 14n take away 11n is 3n, and obviously we have now got rid of 11n from the other side, which gives us 3n is more than 6. Then to find n, I'll divide both sides by 3, which will give us n is more than 2. That's question number 1a. Now question number 1b, they want us to draw a number line of this particular inequality. So first, I'll try solving this inequality in form of x. So I'll take away 3 on both sides. So the inequality will look like -5 is less than x is less than or equal to 1. And now we'll try to draw this inequality. So first thing, I will draw circles, one at -5 and the other one at 1. And basically join these two circles. And because one of the inequality is also equal to and less than 1, so when it's equal to, you would then need to shade that circle. Hence, this is now a number line for question number 1b. Let's move on to question number 2. So in question number 2, the graph needs to be drawn of this particular equation. The values are from -2 to 4. So the easier way, I would think, is simply draw a table. And then we can put in the given values of x. I just simply say x and y, and we are asked to use the values of x from -2 to 4. So I'll simply use -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll substitute each value one by one in there, in that equation, which is y equals to 2x minus 3, to see what are the different values of y we find. So when we put x equals to -2 in there, that will be 2 times -2, which is -4. Take away 3 is -7. Then 2 times -1 is -2. -3 is -5. And you can see the pattern has started to develop. So I will have -3 as the second value, -1, 1, 3, and 5. And now we can simply plot those points on this graph. So let's plot the points first. So when x equals -2, y is equal to 7. So x equals -2, y is equal to -7. First point will be there. When x equals -1, y is equal to -5. When x equals to 0, y equals -3. When x equals to 1, y is equal to -1. When x is equal to 2, y is equal to 1. When x is equal to 3, y is 3, and when x is 4, y is 5. And then we simply join the points using a straight line. So this is basically the graph of the given equation. Let's move on to question number 3. So in question number 3, Hannah is planning a day trip for 195 students. She asked a sample of 30 students where they want to go. Each student chooses one place. And below is the table. They've given information about the places students want to go to and the number of students basically going into each of those places. So we need to work out how many of the 195 students we think will go to the theme park. So because it's a sample of 30 students, and out of 30 students, 10 of them are planning to go to theme park. So first of all, I'll find out the ratio of the total number of students going to the theme park out of 30, which is 10 divided by 30. That gives us a third. So because Hannah is planning a day trip for 195 students in total, so therefore I'll simply find out a third of 195 students, which simply means 195 divided by 3, which gives us 65. So it means 65 are the students who wants to go to the theme park. Now in part B, they want us to state any assumption we made and explain how this would affect our answer. So assumptions we made is the sample represents all the given students, or the number of given students rather. So all the number of given students, which in this case 195 students. How this would affect our answer, obviously there may be more or less. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, in question number 4, they've given us a container which is a cuboid shape. It says container is 2/3 full of water. The cup holds 275 milliliters of water. And they want us to find out the greatest number of cups that can be completely filled with water from the container. So first thing, we can figure out the total volume of the cuboid, which is quite easy to find. That is length times width times height. So volume of the cuboid will simply be 30 times 6 times 19, which can be found using a calculator because it's a calculator exam paper. Hence, my answer shown in the calculator is 3420 centimeter cubed. Then it because says the container is 2/3 full of water. Don't forget, this is the volume of the entire container. So because it's 2/3 full, so we can then find out what is 2/3 of our current answer. That is 2/3 of 3 420, which is calculator showing as 2280 centimeter cubed. So which means 2280 centimeter cubed of the container is full of water. And each cup holds 275 milliliters of water. So the conversion is already there, which is 1 milliliter is equal to 1 centimeter cubed. So it's already in centimeter cubed, and each cup basically holds 275 milliliters of water. So if I simply divide 2280 by 275, it will give us the total number of cups that can be filled in, which gives us 8.29. So because it's asking us the greatest number of cups that can be completely filled with water, so we wouldn't need to consider, or we wouldn't consider that 0.29 of a cup. So hence our answer will be 8 cups. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, in question number 5, we're given with a right angle triangle, ABC, and we're asked to find the length of AB. Because it's a right angle triangle, so we can simply use trigonometric ratios, that is SOHCAHTOA, to find the length of AB. So let's put down the SOHCAHTOA formulas here. If I just put down here, SOHCAHTOA and TOA. Now, what are we given with? We're given with the longest side, that is hypotenuse, and we're asked to find the opposite. So, which one of the formulas is basically valid in this case? So, we're not really finding out adjacent. So, I can simply use sine formula, which is sine of angle X is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So therefore, to find opposite, I can simply times sine and hypotenuse. So opposite, which is also the length of AB, is equal to hypotenuse times sine of angle X. So if I just put the values in, we're given with, so hypotenuse is 16 times sine 38, because that's an angle given to us. And if you just use your calculator, which is 60, which will give us 16 times sine 38, and it comes out as 9.850. And because we need our answer to 2 decimal places, so our answer will simply be 9.85. Here we go. That's question number 5. Let's move on to question number 6. Sally used her calculator to work out the value of a number y. The answer on her calculator displays began 8.3. And they want us to complete the error interval for y. So don't forget, that's her calculator display. So that will be the smallest value of the error interval of y. So 8.3 is a smaller number. And the end number could be, for example, 8.3999, for example. So I can simply say 8.4. So obviously it's not 8.4, it's less than 8.4. and also it is more than or equal to 8.3. So this would be the error interval of 8.3. Let's move on to question number 7. So in question number 7, £360 is shared between Abby, Ben, Chloe, and Dinesh. They've given us the ratio of the amount of Abby to the amount Ben gets. Chloe and Dinesh each gets 1.5 times the amount of Abby gets. They want us to find out the amount of money that Ben gets. So first thing, let's try to put up the ratios of them. So Abby, Ben, Chloe, and Dinesh. So as it's given, Abby to Ben ratio is 2:7. And they've said further that Chloe and Dinesh gets 1.5 times the amount Abby gets. So if I simply times 2 by 1.5, that should give us how much the ratio of Chloe gets. So 2 times 1.5 is simply 3, and Dinesh should also be the same because both of them gets 1.5 times what Abby gets. So then we can add up the total of the ratios, which will add up to 15. To find out what would be the part of each ratio, I would simply divide 360, which is the total amount they're going to be sharing, by the total of the ratios, which is 15. So dividing 360 by 15, don't forget again, it's a calculator exam paper, so you can use a calculator, which gives us £24. So it means each ratio share is equal to £24. And we are only asked to find out the amount that Ben gets. So we don't need to worry about the ratios for Abby or Chloe or Dinesh. So Ben gets a share of 7 ratios. So if I simply times £24 by 7, basically I will then find out how much Ben gets. So which my calculator shows as £168. That was question number 7. Let's move on to question number 8. In question number 8, we're asked to write that ordinary number in standard form. So I'll simply need to shift the decimal after the first non-zero number. So if I just put the question here, so I'm going to be moving this decimal point from here to 1, 2, 3 places to the right. That would make 5.62 times 10 to the power of -3. That is now the standard form of that given ordinary number. Now in part B, they've already given us a standard form. So we would need to convert it in ordinary number. So to convert it in ordinary number, again, the power is positive. So I'll move the decimal place 3 places to the right. So currently the given number is this. So if I move 3 places to the right, this 1, 2, 3, that will give us 1,452. That's question number 8B. Let's move on to question number 9. In question number 9, it's given as the circumference of circle B is 90% of the circumference of circle A. And they want us to find the area of circle A to area of circle B. So circumference are usually linear scale factors, whereas the ratio we need to find are obviously area scale factors. So first, what we will try to do is that given information, try writing them in form of ratio. So B ratio A, it says circumference of B is 90% of circumference of A. Either you can write 90 ratio 100, or you can simply say 9 ratio 10, because it's basically dividing by 10 to both of them ratios. And as we said, LSF, which is linear scale factor, is given. And because we are finding out the area scale factor, so therefore I'll have to square the given ratio. So if I square 9, that will give us 81. And if I square 10, that will give us 100. So therefore, because they need an answer, the ratio of the area of circle A, which is 100, to the area of circle B, which is 81. That's part A. Now in part B, says square E has sides of length E centimeter, whereas square F has sides of length F centimeter. The area of square E is 44% greater than the area of square F. Now in this case, we're asked to find out E and E ratio F, which are now linear scale factor. And the given information is area scale factor. So we're going basically opposite this time. So if I just simply put E ratio F, and again, I'll write down in its ratio form. So because the area of square E is 44% greater than area of square F, so if I say area of square F is 100%, so because area of square E is 44% greater than F, so 100 plus 44 is 144%. So as we said, this is the area scale factor, and we're asked to find the ratio of linear scale factor, which are simply E ratio F. So I would therefore need to square root both of them, which will then give us 12 ratio 10. So your answer will simply be 12 ratio 10. That's question number 9. Let's move on to question number 10. In question number 10, it says, Mary travels to work by train every day. The probability that her train will be late on any day is 0.15. Complete the probability tree diagram for Thursday and Friday. So they've given us the layout of the tree diagram already. For Thursday, the train late, the probability of the train being late is 0.15. So to find out the train that would be not late on Thursday, so the sum of these two probabilities always add up to 1. So therefore, I can simply take away this 0.15 from 1 to get the probability of the train that will not be late on Thursday. That would give us 0.85. And it says for Friday, the probability that the train will be late on any day is 0.5. So that will be the same for Friday being late. And obviously these two should again be add up to 1. So that will be 0.85. That will simply be 0.15 as well, and 0.85. So the probability tree diagram is now completed. In part B, they want us to work out the probability that her train will be late on at least one of these 2 days. So what are the possibilities here? So the train will be late on at least one of these 2 days. So means if it's not late on Thursday, it should be, or it must be late on Friday. Similarly, if it's not late on Friday, it will be late on Thursday. And the last option is, because it says will be late on at least one of the days, so it can be late on both days, like Friday as well as Thursday. So we've got three possibilities here. So if we times both of those possibilities, so 0.15 times 0.15 in the first case, 0.15 times 0.85 in the second case, and 0.85 times 0.15 in the third case. So I'll use my calculator to work them out. And because these are all the possibilities, so I'll add them all to give our answer here. So 0.15 times 0.15 is 0.025. That's the first possibility. Second one was 0.15 times 0.85, which is 0.1275. And the last possibility was 0.85 times 0.15, which is the same, 0.1275. So if we add all of them together, not 0.1275 plus 0.1275 and plus 0.0225, that give us 0.2775. And that's your answer for question 10B. Let's move on to question 11. Okay, so in question number 11, in part A, we are first asked to complete the cumulative frequency table. And in part B and C, we will be drawing the cumulative frequency table and basically finding out some numbers in percentage for Okay, so in question number 11, first we're asked to complete the cumulative frequency table in part A. So let's complete that first. So to complete the cumulative frequency table, the first number is exactly the same as the number in the frequency column. Then you basically add the first cumulative frequency number to the second frequency to get the second frequency column. So that would be 30 plus 5 to get 35. And then similarly, you add this to the third frequency to get 55. Then you add the new cumulative frequency, which is now 55, to 15 to get 70. And then 70 will therefore be added to 8 to get 78. And then finally, 78 will be added to the last of the frequency, which is 80. So this is how you complete the cumulative frequency table. So that's part A done. In part B, we are asked to plot or draw the cumulative frequency graph for this given information. So to plot the points, we are given the scaling along X and Y axis. So I'll simply first locate the points. So to draw cumulative frequency, you would have to basically pick the upper class widths. So for example, 20 goes with 5. So 20 goes with 5. And the cumulative frequency graph always starts from 0. So that will be the first initial point of the graph. Second, the cumulative frequency 35 goes along with the upper class width, which is 40. So 40 goes with 35, which will be somewhere up there. Then 60 goes with 55. 60 is the time, and 55 is somewhere up there. 80 goes with 70. So we have now plotted all the points. So to draw cumulative frequency, you would simply use freehand curve to join those points. Okay, so once all the points are plotted, we simply need to join them using a freehand curve. So let's start from the first point to the second and so on from there. So the curve will therefore, I'll try to draw the smooth curve as possible. On a paper, it may be easier to draw than drawing on a computer screen. So this is the cumulative frequency graph for that given set of data. The cumulative frequency graph are usually S-shaped curve. As you can see, it has formed the similar shape. Okay, so let's part C. Use your graph to find an estimate for the percentage of these office workers who take more than 90 minutes to get to work. So first thing, this is a 90-minute time here. So I'll first draw a straight line from that to the graph line. And then because we need to find out the percentage of these office workers who take more than 90 minutes, so I'll then draw a horizontal line from that point we found, which is approximately 76. So because you're finding the percentage of office workers who take more than 90 minutes, so that there are a total of 80 office workers. So 80 take away 76 is 4 out of 80 times by 100, because we are trying to find out the percentage. Hence, we are multiplying it by 100. So 40 divided by 80 times by 100 is 5%. So according to my graph, I got 5% of the office workers who took more than 90 minutes to get to work. Again, that 5% can be varied depending on the graph drawn as the freehand curve, and some of the answers may vary. Hence, you're given with the range of answers. Let's move on to question number 12. In question number 12, it's given OAB is a sector of a circle with center O, and they've also given us the radius of 7 centimeters. Further information is given, that is the area of this sector is 40 centimeters squared. They want us to find the perimeter of the sector. Perimeter means the sum of all the outer sides of the shape. So we're good with the radii, which means this side and this side length is already known. That is 7 centimeters each. Whereas we don't currently know the arc length. To find the arc length, we first need to find this angle. and hence why they've given us an area of this sector, which will help us finding this angle first. So let's try figuring out that angle. The area of a sector is equal to x, let's say x is an angle, divided by 360, because it's a sector of a circle, and the circle angles add up to 360. Hence, x will be divided by 360 times by the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. So to find out x, we're given with an area, which is 40, is equal to x divided by 360 times by pi and times by radius squared, which is given as 7. So 7 squared. So I'll try to make x a subject from this equation and basically finding the value of x. So if I times both sides by 360, to get rid of this 360 from the denominator, that will give us 360 times 40 is equal to x times pi times 7 squared. And therefore, we can divide both sides by pi and 7 squared to find x. So the equation would look like 360 times 40 divided by pi times 7 squared is equal to x. So if I put all values now in the calculator, I will get x equals 93.54 degrees to 2 decimal places. So it means you have now got an angle of 93.54 degrees, which will help us finding the arc length. So to find the arc length, the formula we would simply use is arc length is equal to x divided by 360 degrees. Again, x is an angle, which we just found, times by pi times d. So if I just put the values in, which is 93.54 divided by 360 degrees times by pi, and because the radius is 7, so the diameter must be 14 because diameter is double the radius. So if I substitute in all values in the calculator, let's see what we get. So I got 11.428 centimeter as an arc length of this sector. Now, to find perimeter, we can simply add the two given radii as well as the arc length we found. So it will simply be 7 plus 7 plus 11.428, which will give us 25.428. And again, because they need an answer, 3 significant figures, so that would simply be 25.4 centimeters. That's the perimeter of the given sector. Let's move on to question number 13.